I've always had a deep appreciation for things like science fiction gadgets, cool spaceships, mechs with crazy weapons, and other things. So when I found out I'd be able to see all of that in one place, I knew I had to check out the new Netflix movie, Atlas. From the director that brought you two of those classic action-packed mediocre Dwayne Johnson movies comes a brand new action-packed masterclass in mediocrity starring Jennifer Lopez in the role of Atlas. Dive into the futuristic future of a world where AI is more than just a way to make disturbing pictures and songs about Drake's Brazilian butt lift. Much like every science fiction film about AI, they've gained sentience and went about a third of the way to Skynet, killing millions of people. But unlike Terminator, humanity promptly turned around and kicked their ass so hard the robot leader took a rocket ship to another planet with the promise they'd return to make things a whole lot more like the Matrix. An arbitrary amount of time passes and humanity has taken a hard stance against AI by once again putting it absolutely everywhere in their daily lives. Soon, our protagonist learns of a captured AI sleeper agent and goes to interrogate his face to learn that their leader has apparently made the intergalactic journey to the Andromeda Galaxy where he's hiding out. Now Atlas must both put aside her crippling coffee addiction that dominates the movie's narrative for some reason and convince the international anti-AI military force that she should go along with the journey to make that AI DOA. Since the movie would end if she didn't, she succeeds and makes this trip even after learning they'll be using AI-augmented mech robots that are connected straight into the pilot's brains, and in no way is this infringing on the copyrights of Titanfall. While they're on their journey, Atlas complains some more about AI and informs these very important characters through the antiquated use of paper what they probably should have known before ever going on the mission. When they've made their impossibly long journey over the course of a day to face off against the incredibly intelligent force that nearly destroyed humanity, they manage to be ambushed by the enemy that had 3 decades to prepare for their arrival. As a cascade of shit hits a gauntlet of fans, Atlas is tossed into a mech and dropped into the chaos of a cool skydiving battle scene where she flails around trying not to die. She's told repeatedly to shove her AI brain connector hearing aid into her head to stay alive, but she refuses to do it and somehow barely manages to survive the fall onto this hostile air-free planet. Now it's time for her to force her damaged, unconnected AI-powered robot conveyance to slog its way to the rally point, only to find that all of those important characters we were introduced to earlier got their asses kicked when they got there. If only the awesome shield tech they use for individuals and the entire planet was set up for the safety of these mechs. But Atlas, with no experience on the platform, the proper Bluetooth connection, or any logical reasoning, manages to take out those evil AI humanoids and spends the next 20 minutes of the movie in an actual hole. Here you'll be locked into a close-up 6 inches from J-Lo's face as she has a back and forth with this glowing ball representing the AI of her mech, providing plenty of awkward comic relief in this morbid situation where nearly every human died. From there, you finally learn why Atlas hates AI as much as probably everyone else on Earth should, and begins the part of the movie that turns into Rambo as she unlocks the power of the mech and does what a dozen highly trained soldiers couldn't. Atlas. I shrugged. Unlike some of the previous entries into Netflix's science fiction film collection, Atlas isn't nearly as tough to finish. With dialogue that mostly makes sense and scenes that almost exclusively contribute to the plot, it's a pretty easy movie to digest. It doesn't dive into anything unique or interesting on the topic of AI that hasn't been covered in movies from decades ago, and it doesn't even acknowledge any of the modern-day realities of AI in the world. Yet it does use it to tell a story that's cohesive even as it takes a path you could have seen coming even if you missed the first half of the movie. Some are more ridiculous than others, but one memorable scene had Atlas just randomly stopping to smell the flowers as she's in a mech with a failing power system while well aware of being actively pursued by malicious enemies. And after going through most of the movie with a pretty serious tone, the interaction with the mech's AI has this strange dialogue that almost feels like it's from Flight of the Navigator or something. However, if you suspend your disbelief for those handful of moments, the movie makes up for it with some entertaining action scenes that sometimes get a bit too muddy but always make you forget about the weird shit that just happened. So that's why Atlas is getting the abbreviated score of okay. If you'd like to see more hot takes, warm satire, and tepid commentary about video games, make sure to like this video and check out more abbreviated reviews.